Hello, everyone. My name is Kevin Schmiegel. I'm the CEO of Operation Gratitude, and you're joining us live for a podcast of Solidarity of Service. I'm joined by my co-host, fellow Marine veteran, Sherman Gillums, the Chief Strategy Officer for NAMI, and our special guest today, Gold Star mom, Janice Chance. Janice is an Operation Gratitude ambassador, and today we're going to talk about Janice's journey to become an Operation Gratitude ambassador and how she serves with us every day. But I also just want to share a little bit about Janice and briefly how my path crossed with Janice, and coincidentally, how Sherman's path crossed with her too that very day. Janice is, as I said, a Gold Star mom to Captain Jesse Melton, who was killed in Afghanistan 12 years ago on September 9th of 2008. Jesse, like myself and Sherman, served in the United States Marine Corps and was a captain at the time serving in Afghanistan. And he served bravely and honorably. And we're going to talk about Jesse's legacy of service, which lives through Janice. Janice, Sherman, and I met for the very first time almost 2 years ago, just over 2 years ago, in January of 2019, when we joined together with more than 400 grateful Americans here in our nation's capital at the DC National Guard Armory, where we assembled in just a few hours on that day in January of 2019, 17,400 care packages for every police officer, every firefighter, and every EMT serving in Washington, DC, Arlington, Virginia, Alexandria, Virginia, and even some of those signature red care pouches went to recruit graduates across the country. But I'm going to turn over this part of the podcast, the very beginning part of the podcast, to Sherman to talk about that day and maybe that intersection a little bit and get these questions rolling.
Thanks, Kevin. Hi, Janice.
Hi.
It's always good to see you again.
It's good to be seen.
So let's go back to that day in January 2019 BC, before COVID. Kevin talked about that assembly day and how special it was. And there were things that were obvious. We had a lot of success with the packages that were put together. You had leaders from the first responder community, the fire and police chief there. You were there, Kevin was there, I was there. But what may not be so obvious, as Kevin said, are the intersections that begin there, the seeds that get planted. And I don't know if you know this, but as a result of my interaction with you, I connected with a few other Gold Star moms, and we actually helped one, Sheila Murphy, finish a book that she had been wanting to write since she lost her son, Etienne. And so because of the interactions, seeds were planted that went well beyond. And as Kevin always talks about, they go well beyond the act of a package. It's really about the heart and into putting it together. I want to talk to you about that because you don't owe this country anything. You've given a lot. Your daughter continues to serve. You serve. Your son served heroically, as Kevin talked about. But yet you still do it. And I want to know what brought you to DC that day, because for me, it was serendipitous. But what brought you to that day, to DC that day for Operation Gratitude?
Yes, I received an email from the national headquarters, Joanne Matlin, and she said, Janice, they're having a special assembly day, Operation Gratitude, in Washington, DC. She said, do you think you and some of the moms can go over there to help? And I said, I'll be glad to. And she shared that, of course, that they had entered into a relationship with Operation Gratitude and that we could be working with them. All the chapters had an opportunity to do that. And so I read about Operation Gratitude and I sent out an email to some of the moms, and because it was kind of last minute, and I was blessed to be able to get Donna Robinson to join me. And so we came over to Operation Gratitude, and when I saw how everything was so organized and laid out, and people working together. It was like an electric atmosphere. People were smiling, just working. It was just wonderful. And I met one of the young ladies, and she came. I told her who I was. That Dawn and I were Gold Star moms, and we were there to help. And she said, "All right, I'm going to let you come over here and show me what to do." And we did. We started working, and I talked with several people. Then I saw Kevin. Had the opportunity to see Kevin, to meet him and talk with him. That was our first intersection. And of course, I saw you there. I was amazed because we had crossed paths in the past, and I hadn't seen you in a while, so it was a blessing to see you that day, and it just brought so much joy. And I was just ready to go to work. And I said, and I love the name Operation Gratitude because it shows that we are really grateful for all of the men and women who served. And not only is it limited to the men and women who serve, but you help first responders and also within I guess with the community, you do a lot of community things. So trying to bridge the gap. And so it was just wonderful for me to be there that day. I would never forget. It was a wonderful day of service. Mm-hmm. And at the Gold Star Mother, our mission is basically, in short, honoring through service. We try to keep the legacy of our loved ones alive, by serving veterans, active duty military, their families, and work in the community. And so when we're able to partner with organizations like Operation Gratitude, that's an opportunity for us to do what we want to do, to carry on Jesse's legacy. Jesse, when he made his ultimate sacrifice in Afghanistan, I determined in my heart, and I said, Lord, I'm not going to drown in my tears or be paralyzed by my pain. You did not call me to sit, to soak, and to sow, but to stand up, to step up and to serve. And that's what I intend to do every day. I said, we don't know why God allows these things, but I know that a scripture that I stand on, Romans 8:28, said, all things work together for good to those who love the Lord and be called according to his purpose. I'm a follower of Jesus Christ, and I have a strong woman of faith and of prayer. And so I've just seen God's hand moving in this, even though, my precious son, my firstborn, made the ultimate sacrifice. I know that I could carry on that legacy by serving others. So being at Operation Gratitude was a wonderful, wonderful blessing to me. And I'm looking forward to continue to work along with the Operation Gratitude family. So it was just a wonderful day of service there.
And I see Jesse looking over your shoulder there. He's a dashingly handsome young man that, I've seen many officers stand with pride in those dress blues, but you can see that he was proud to not just be a Marine officer, but he was a natural leader. And it's obvious because of you where he got that from. And when we talk about a legacy of service, it should be known that your daughter Janine,
yes,
also serves in uniform, and that was her brother. And when you serve with Operation Gratitude, you are honoring Jesse's legacy of service. And I want to refer back to something that happened not too long ago when the highway was dedicated.
Oh, yes.
Jesse, and I was honored to be there to speak and to offer my thoughts. And I talked about being a drill instructor and how we take all these young people and we never think about the knock that could come at the door later on the other side of that service. We bring them in and we make them into these Marines. And for you, that knock wasn't a nightmare. It was a reality.
Yes.
And so when we talk about legacy of service, sometimes there's also a cost of service.
Yes.
And I want to know why you continue to pay it after giving up so much. Why do you continue to pay that cost? And can you tell our listeners how you are honoring his legacy of service every day, just in your everyday life beyond what we see?
Yeah. What I would say is that, first of all, as a believer, that's what we need to do, is serve every day. And, God said we need to serve. And one of the things that Jesse said to me prior to going to Afghanistan, he said, Mom, I want to go change the world, make a difference, and do something that will bring God glory. Serving is what you do. It's something that is inside of you and it makes you feel better. That legacy, I don't ever want to stop serving. That it's become a part of my DNA. It's become a lifestyle. And I do what I do because I know that serving others make them feel better. It makes me feel better, for one thing. The scripture is true when it said, it is truly more blessed to give than to receive. And that's a part of who I am. I'm always wanting to serve, always wanting to give. And I was determined not to let Jesse's legacy or Janine's or anybody else in my family that served just fall by the wayside. I want to make sure that people remember my son and his sacrifice, and my daughter, my brothers, And then I also had a first cousin who made the ultimate sacrifice, Cornell Gilmore. He was a command sergeant major, 22 years he served. And he was killed in Iraq in 2003. And Jesse and Cornell are both buried in Section 60. And so I want to make sure that I'm serving. I know what my son went through about, when he was deployed, Janine, and when we send care packages to them, how much it meant to them. So I want to be a part of anything that I can do that support our heroes, those in the community. You got to serve, you got to be out there working. So every day I'm on a mission. I'm on a mission. What am I going to do to make a difference in somebody's life? It's not about me, but it's about other people. When you have that attitude, say, it's not me. What can I do to make life better for others? And that answer is serving. And Jesus was the biggest, he was the greatest example, role model of service. And so as a believer, we need to follow in his footsteps. So every day I'm looking for opportunities to serve. I can't stop. It's something that I think is in my DNA to just serve people, to do things. And when I came to Operation Gratitude, and I know that these service members are those that we deliver those care packages to, it's going to show them that we care. We appreciate what they do. They have put themselves on the line, our firefighters, our first responders, our service members, police officers. And unfortunately, a lot of people don't understand that. And so we've got to say, look, we appreciate you, what you do every day, because when they leave their house, a lot of them, they don't know if they're going to come back. And so we need to be a part of making a change in our society, making a difference in people's lives. So I am inspired every day to serve because I see instant impact. When I go and serve somebody, I cannot stay, you can't stay depressed or down. I have learned that. I challenge the moms and said, come out and serve somebody. I know that you will feel better. And I've got many moms to now come out. And so they serve. And one mom said, Janice, I wasn't ready at first, but she said, I'm glad that you encouraged me to come to serve. She said, seeing the smiles on the faces of those veterans really made me feel good. It really made me feel like I was making a difference, and our children made a difference. So we got to continue to do that as well. So every day, as I said, I've got to, I'm on mission every day. I'm always thinking ahead. What can I do to make it better for somebody today? Wherever I am, everybody, I try to make a friend. You're a stranger when I first meet you, but people also will come up to me and they would say, Miss, can I ask you a question? And I say, yes. They said, you have so much light and so much, what is it about you? And then I tell people, well, first off, my divine connection. I'm a believer in the Lord Jesus Christ. And I'm hoping what you've seen is the love of God, the light that has shone, because it's who I am. And so it is very, very important that I just continue the legacy of Jesse and of Janine, who's currently sitting. I'm so proud of my daughter, Janine, who is also now working with Operation Gratitude as an ambassador. So working together, her and I together, we want to be a dynamic duo that would make a difference in the community where we are, that will have an impact all over. And when I see and read Kevin's weekly briefings about the impact that that makes to a service member when they receive those packages, the joy. I remember when I used to send Jesse's packages to Janine, how happy they were, because I would make sure I sent enough to also allow them to share with their fellow Marines and Janine's soldiers. And so it was really nice. And Janine said that she was actually a recipient of one of the care packages. That was the first time I heard that yesterday for the first time. So that really made me happy. And I said, look at this. So it was like confirmation. You are where I planted you. God says, bloom where you planted, make a difference. We can't control what comes into our life, but we can control our attitude. And your attitude determines your altitude. So if you are in a attitude of serving every day and making a difference, you will truly do that. And so I encourage people to do that, just to come out and serve. Don't sit at home, and in Operation Gratitude, there's so many ways that we can do that. You can become a volunteer. And so you write letters, make things, make paracord bracelets, and it's just so many things that you can do to serve. And so I really appreciate Operation Gratitude, and I appreciate you, Kevin, You guys are amazing, and working with Marines, you guys really make it happen. It's just been a blessing to me.
Well, thank you, Janice. I think that our listeners will know exactly why we asked you to join our Ambassador Corps across the country, which is growing every day. I think we have 10 ambassadors now all across the United States, and you and Janine really live and breathe our ethos, our beliefs every day, that the importance of service to bridge divides and bring communities together is why you're here today. And I want to talk a little bit about that ambassador journey and then ask you what it was like in some of these places where we've served together. So I want to tell our listeners, after January of 2019, we obviously talk and email and text all the time. But the next big thing that we did together was in Baltimore County. And at the very beginning of the month, on June 1st of 2019, we brought together hundreds of grateful Americans at the B&O Railroad Museum. And we assembled care packages for every police officer, every firefighter and EMT in Baltimore City and Baltimore County. And we talked, and I asked you to join us for deliveries to the 13 surrounding neighborhoods close to where you live in Baltimore County. And you helped us deliver those care packages to volunteer firefighters, to police officers. And you really were a light, because one of the precincts that we visited in Baltimore County had actually lost an officer recently, and they were mourning his death. And then later on, you also organized as an ambassador on Veterans Day, during COVID, during a pandemic, on Veterans Day in 2020, a delivery to hundreds of homeless vets in a shelter run by veterans. And I want you to talk about what it was like for our listeners. Please tell them what it was like in both Baltimore County and serving the police officers, firefighters, and EMTs, but also what it was like to serve the veterans and bring Gold Star moms with us. Yes.
It was that day when I arrived and I saw the pouches, the care pouches that we're going to be given to the firefighters and police officers. And I looked at them, I said, it was wonderful. It was a blessing to be a part of that. Again, to see the smiles on their faces, just to say thank you. And it was truly an operation of gratitude, being able to say thank you. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your sacrifice. And to be able to go from place to place, saying thank you to the firefighters and going to Baltimore County and to see the smiles, and they were just thrilled. Their faces just lit up, like light bulbs. You could see that they appreciated what we were doing, the sacrifice that we made. I was so blessed to be a part of that. So Lord, thank you for using me, using my hands, because we are God's hands, his laborers. We are vessels that he wants to use to bless others. So being a part of that operation that day, I felt like I was on the team. And of course, being with you and Paul, Kusanada was the icing on the cake. I remember taking a picture between you and Paul, and I said, oh boy, I felt like the Marines. I was flanked on both sides with wonderful Marines. And I had that picture, and I value that. But on that day, at that fire station, and I saw those flags and the men and the women that were there, and just how they responded, that filled my love tank. And then to go to every stop, talking to the police officers, the firefighters, it just gave me a sense of satisfaction that they knew that we cared about them, that it was something, we were doing something tangible, that we demonstrated our appreciation. We just didn't talk it. Action speaks louder than words. And so being on that day to give those pouches, and when they opened them, and then just to know that we did not forget the young lady who made this sacrifice, and the officer that died, that because they go out their front line. So we wanted to say, we're here we're here to love on you, to let you know how much we appreciate you. And I'm so sorry for the loss of that fellow officer, but we're here to let you know that we're going to walk with your journey. We're going to support you as much as we can. And so giving those pouches made a difference. And then when I mentioned to you about the Maryland Center for Veterans Education and Training that's located in Baltimore City on High Street, where I also serve there, and our moms go down. And I told you about those homeless veterans. You know, we help veterans who they were homeless for a while. They made some missteps. But then they go to McVet that's being run by a veteran, an Air Force veteran, Jeffrey Kendrick. And he is a wonderful man. And I told him about Operation Gratitude and that we would like to come and deliver some pouches. And he said, absolutely. And it was on Veterans Day. And I think that was that was so nice when I mentioned it to you and said, hey, Kevin, what do you think about this? And I mentioned to Rich that we have a homeless shelter, and many people forget that there are homeless veterans. But I thank God for McVet, who opened their doors so that they can bring them in and so that they can receive comprehensive services so that they can go back into the communities and continue to serve and make a difference like they did prior to them making a misstep. And so being able to get those packages, you guys just didn't hesitate. When I said, can we do this? You said, we're going to make it happen. And you guys did. And it was great to be able to help to assemble some of those packages and then to actually come down with you and Paul and deliver them there. And they were so happy that we were there that day, because they are often forgotten about. But we've got to remember that there are homeless, and we got to do that. We got to reach out. We got two hands. We got to reach out. And be an ambassador, being able to do that, I could say mission complete when we got there and delivered to those veterans. And they were just, elated. And I was ecstatic. I was just beaming, and just, it's hard to really put into words how I felt that day, that we were making the difference in their lives. And Jesse said, go change the world and make a difference and do something that would bring God glory. And I believe that we brought God glory and that we elevated those veterans that day and let them know that there are people there that think about them and care about them. And that's us, Operation Gratitude. And you, Kevin, you spoke and you shared. And I think that made a big difference, because you're a veteran yourself. So you can identify with a lot that they had been through. And for you to be making the sacrifice to come all the way over to Baltimore, to the homeless shelter, and to tell them how much you appreciated them, was like probably giving them $1 million. It meant a whole lot. So again, that day I cherish, and I'm looking forward to doing more outreach to that homeless shelter, to continue to give them things, to let them know that we care. Right now, they've got a coat drive going on until March. And so I've been reaching out on behalf of them. The Gold Star Mothers Maryland chapter, we had a fundraiser so that we could raise funds for doing things like that. And so we purchased 20 coats that we're going to be donating to the veterans at the McVet shelter. So I'm just excited. And so I'm waiting for the next time that we can get together and deliver more items to them. It has to be an ongoing basis. What I like about Operation Gratitude, you don't stop. It's a continuous service. And like you said, it's always a day on, not a day off. And so it's not just a one-time interaction with the heroes, but it's continuous. And that's what you have to do. Continually reinforce to them, continue to let them know we're here. We're not going to stop. We're going to continue. We're not going to forget you. And that's why it's so important to be a part of Operation Gratitude, because what you do matters. What we do matters. Every day when we wake up, we have a choice. I have a choice. Do I want to be bitter or better? I want to be better. And I look for those opportunities, and you have given me that opportunity to serve, to do what I do best, serving other people. It has truly been a blessing. Every time I serve, it's like my love tank is filled up. It's being refilled every time. And there's a scripture in Proverbs 11:25. It said, as you water, so shall you be watered. I'm not a Dead Sea. I don't want things to come in and just sit there. I've got to be like a river. We got to be like a river. Let the water flow in and flow out. Refresh us every day. Flow in and flow out. It's a constant cycle of giving, making someone's life better, saying thank you. That's what people need to hear. Thank you, we care. And so that's why I do what I do. I'm just grateful to God for the opportunity to serve. I said, Lord, these are my two hands. Use me, God. Use me for your glory, for your honor. That's what you called me to do. And I'm a child of the King, a daughter of God. And there are people who need my help every day. And so I'm grateful that, again, that I can partner with you, the other moms can partner, so we can carry on that legacy of our children's service. We don't ever want them to forget. And there's another, I always have to go to the scripture. I said, there's another scripture that says, unless a grain of wheat falls into the ground and dies, it abides alone. But if it dies, it brings forth much fruit. And Jesse's life has done that. It's bringing forth fruit every time I go out and serve. As Sherman was saying, when we had that dedication, Adopt the Highway, and he came out, he made a sacrifice, Operation Gratitude and Action once again. And so I'm very, very thankful to be a part of Operation Gratitude. And I'm expecting you to continue us together to do great things. As a team, together we can accomplish much. And we're doing that. And you have people all over the United States. And so we're working together. You're able to bring people in. And it's nice that when we come together, we're not concerned about whether you're Democrat, Republican, whether you're wealthy, you're national, none of that matters. What matters is we're on mission. We are coming together to make a difference, to serve. And that's our focus all the time. It should be that. Focus on serving, not on yourselves, but on helping others. And that's why I'm so grateful again that I have this opportunity of Operation Gratitude to do those things and to make a difference in the lives of people and to carry on Jesse's legacy. And I always, for those who are listening, my son served for 11 years. And he just loved being a Marine. And he loved making a difference. And he was, one of the things he shared for me, he said, Mom, I want the Marines on my team to follow me out of admiration, not obligation. There's a difference. You got to lead by serving. You've got to be a servant leader. And Jesse was just that, a servant leader. And many people shared that. And so with him serving, modeling that, my daughter Janine serving, my brothers were Vietnam veterans. My dad was a Navy World War II veteran. Jesse's dad was a Vietnam veteran. We have a host of cousins, and service is what we do. So I'm honored to be a part of a family that served. And now to be with Marines leading the way, who are committed to carry. You are a retired Marine. I tell you, and I'm Kevin and Paul retired, and of course Sherman, what you're doing, not only with Operation Gratitude, but out there now working for our warriors in the mental health sector to try to help them. We've got too many of our heroes who are committing suicide. And we're concerned about that. That's another, we've got to make sure that they don't do that. So we've got to be there. We got to be there for them to say we care. And so if we can do something every day to demonstrate that, I think we'll see less of our men and women taking their lives. We have got to breathe life into them. We've got to let them know we can continue to serve, and so raising money to buy, to purchase service animals for them, to help them who are going through, post-traumatic stress. They need that. And I believe when we deliver those packages, those care pouches to those maybe having a bad day, you never know what impact it might have on somebody. An officer, we went there that day, just to go back, an officer could have been having a tough day, but when we showed up en masse with those gifts, it could change the course of their life, their trajectory. They could have been thinking of doing something else, but because we were there, it gave them a commitment to continue on. It said, I can run on. It's like giving them a vitamin, a shot in the arm, and said, thank you, thank you. Someone cares. I'm going to continue to carry on. Jesse passed the baton of service on to me and my daughter and my family, and we're going to run with it. Nothing is going to stop me from serving by the grace of God.
That was beautiful, Janice. I think Sherman has another question. I could listen to you all day. I'm almost afraid to interrupt you to ask a question, but
That's okay.
I know Sherman has probably a couple follow-ons
Well,
because
I got the one really important. By the way, I want the first copy of your book when you're ready to write it and publish it. So just keep me in mind for that first copy, autographed and everything.
Hey, I want to help her. We should help write. We should help write
Please,
it.
please, because I really want to write a book, and I said in the title, God already gave me the title, Paying the Pearls for God's Glory and Amazing Journey.
That's a good caveat into my question, because you talk a lot about what you do for other people, but I want to take the window away and put a mirror in front of you, because I really want to get inside of your experience as somebody who embodies a quote, one of my favorite by Maya Angelou, which is, there's no greater agony than bearing an untold story inside of you. And nobody knows what it's like to be a Gold Star mom except another Gold Star mom.
Yes.
And when you get in a room with other Gold Star moms who are distinguished by this experience of bringing a human being into the world, and then having that life, I won't say extinguished. It's in many ways, it's accentuated by the service that was born from their sacrifice, but only you and those others understand. And when you get in a room and you have to lead those people, I want to know specifically what it does for you and your healing when you're in a room with other people who are the only ones who can relate in that way. How does that heal you in any way, if it does?
Knowing that we share that common bond, the loss of a child, and we have been through that together, we don't even have to say a word, just a look at another mom who's been there. You have a sense of oneness, of belonging, of comfort, to be around those who've walked the walk. It is invigorating. It is refreshing. And if there's a day that we're not feeling up, with mom, it can be like an emotional roller coaster. We come in one day and the mom is really doing well, and then she said, I'm not having a good day today. And then all we have to do is go over there and hug her and say, it's going to be okay. Not have to say a bunch of, just being in the presence. I call that the gift of presence. Being with other people who have gone through what you've gone through is very special, because it's like we're getting holy hugs from heaven, because I can lean on my shoulder sister. They can lean on me, and so we together can raise each other up. It's a support group, but it's a support group, but it's for others. It helps with the healing. Just to look over there and see my mom. There's my sister. There's Donna. There's Teresa. There's Kelly. All those moms, they're there. And we together are going to be planning how we can carry on that legacy of service. So it just feels so good to just be around other moms. You gain strength from them, when we're together. So I love to be around them. I miss them right now with COVID. I'm not around them as much as I would love to be. And so I'm looking forward to the day that when the coronavirus is over, we're now Zooming in, doing chat meetings so that we can see each other, and we, thank God, we're able to come together with the Operation Gratitude to serve some of us together. But it means a lot when we are together, as just to feel the love. It's a special love. It's hard to put it. It's a special it's just a special feeling that you get being in the presence of other mothers, who are uh, who are moving forward in their pain. They're just not sitting still. They're not being paralyzed. I always say, God, help us not to drown in our tears or be paralyzed by our pain, but to allow you to take that pain. And as I was saying, when you think about a pearl, pain to pearls, you think about how a pearl is formed. It's just a little irritant it just irritating, and then that releases an enzyme to encapsulate it, and it keeps growing and growing and growing until it becomes a priceless pearl. And that's what, if you start surrounding it and you start doing things, serving, the more you serve, the better you feel. It's like, and it's like a priceless pearl. Give, 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 give. So we together, moms, the more we together, the stronger we become. Finding strength. Our mission is finding strength and the fellowship of other Gold Star mothers that strive to keep the memory of our sons and daughters alive by working to help veterans, those currently serving the military, their families, and our communities. And so doing that together, doing life together makes a difference with my fellow sisters.
Yeah, it's so apt to what we talk about as an organization, and you talk about this common bond that you share, and what we really are hopeful for with this relationship with you as an ambassador, but also for the Gold Star moms in Maryland and really across the country,
yes,
is to expand on that common bond that you share as moms who lost a son or daughter, and I think really that common bond of service that we talk about. What we see as an organization is when we come together as Americans, we share this common bond of service, right? We recognize the things that we have in common instead of the things that make us different.
Yes.
And that is what brings communities together. That is what bridges divides. And I think in the case of Gold Star moms, that's what makes you stronger together, right? So I would love to kind of expand on Sherman's question a little bit about how this has helped you heal and how your common bond with Gold Star mothers has allowed you to help them heal too. And as we look at your role as an ambassador going forward, what are the things that we can do more of for Gold Star moms in particular, to give them that sense of purpose, these opportunities to serve not only in Maryland, but across the country, right? You saw me in New Mexico, Gold Star Moms Convention, where we gave care packages.
Yes.
How can we be more helpful to Gold Star moms and to other Americans who want to serve? What do you think we can do more of to make a difference right now, to change the world?
Yeah, I think continued outreach, reaching out, getting the word out to the different organizations, to the Gold Star Mothers organizations, that here we have some opportunities for you ladies, because we understand that you want to serve. You honor, our mission is honor through service. And so you're providing an avenue to do that, and reaching into us and say, look, we care. We want to help you on this journey. These are some opportunities for you, and you can work together and do projects and share all of the different ways with Gold Star moms that we can make a difference, which is our mission, serving others. And I think, just sending out the weekly, where we can reach out to the departments in every state, sending a letter to them, or, just go to national headquarters and National Executive Board, and they're very good about disseminating information, to send an invite out and say, look, we're here. We want to invite you to join us on this journey of service, the thing that you do naturally. You want to continue, we have an avenue. How, these are some of the things that we do, we offer. Which one, I guess, things that you would like to do that would make you feel better. Or you think that you can kind of graft up. Maybe they want to be doing letter writing. So one chapter may want to make paracord bracelets or do a combination of them. And you can say, we have assembly days here, and I know you ladies like to come out and serve. We want to invite you there. We're going to make you aware of all the things that's available, so that when you're free, you can come out to join us. I think, just outreaching to moms and say, look, we care. We appreciate you. We appreciate your service of your children. And we want to make and let you know they are not forgotten. So just being there, just reaching out, just continue to reach out and let them know that you're there and the Ghost Star Moms, and that there's an opportunity for us to partner with you. I think would mean a lot to the Ghost Star Moms. It's mean a lot to me. Just being able to do that, Mom, and, it's me being the chaplain, I get an opportunity to pray with my moms. Now, everybody has different faiths. And so I have to minister according to their belief system, but everybody likes prayer. And so I call and encourage moms as a chaplain. I've attended, unfortunately, funerals of our fallen heroes, but I'm glad I was there for those families. I could say to them, I sat where you sat in 2008. I don't know exactly how you feel this minute, but I can definitely identify, because you're probably gone through some of the things that I went through. So being able to just be there for other moms, to encourage them, to inspire them and say, we can do this. We can do this. We can make a difference. Okay, ladies, come on. And I love it when me and the moms get together and we go down to the VA and serve our heroes, and we do a mom salute. I always say, okay, moms, let's salute. 1, 2, 3 up, down to 3. And the veterans always love it when we salute them. And so I just love doing that. The moms love doing that. And we just need you to keep the doors open for us. Keep the doors open so we can come in and join you with service. And I know that you have opened the doors to me and the Maryland chapter, and I'm praying that the other chapters will come on board as well and serve, because it really will make a difference. And so, because you guys, you have a movement out and it's going, like I said, you're bridging the divide, the gap within the community. And one of the things is, if people realize when you come out to serve together in projects, you cannot fight. You're not there. There's not a divide. You have more in common than you think when you're going out to serve. I believe the community, they always have family that prays together, stays together. I think a community that serves together stays together, and they can make a difference and make things better for everyone. And I do have a story I want to share where community has come together. Of course, with Operation Gratitude, the natural, it's a wonderful example, because you get people from all over to come together to serve. It's amazing how you're able to recruit people, and your ambassadors able to recruit people. But I remember back in September of last year, Mr. Michael Brophy, the director of the historic Baltimore National Cemetery Complex, reached out to veteran service organizations, active duty service organizations, people within a community, because they had a veteran, Captain Philip Lynn Brown, who's United States Army, a Vietnam veteran, and they could not find family, and they wanted to hold a ceremony for him, a burial, and he didn't have family, so they reached out and said, "Can you come? Can you come to stand in place and be the family for this veteran?" And so we were able to join them. We had over 350 people to come to that, what they called, the unaccompanied veteran service. And that was a picture of the model of the community coming together to stand in for a hero who has served and didn't have any biological family members. He had a friend in the community that did accept the flag and the challenge form they gave him, but he didn't have family, so we became his family. We went there to that cemetery, and it was a beautiful sight to see all those Vietnam veterans there. A lot of them were Vietnam veterans, and other organizations, the military, the National Guard, the police officers, many people from the community. They just came in droves, working together. That's community. That's community, coming together. So when you, again, like I said, come together as a community, you can't fight. And, Operation Gratitude, what we're doing, and what you're trying to bridge the divide, you said, look, we're more alike than we're different. Forget the different. Let's come together and serve. Let's make a difference in the community. What can we do? Tackle, if there is children who need book bags and school supplies. We can do that. We can go in the community. We can get the police officers working with the children in the community, because, some people are saying, they don't care about us. They just want to show their power, which is not, it's a myth. Police officers do care about them. They want to make the community safer and better. And so we need to help them to do that by serving support and telling them, thank you for your service. I appreciate what you do. That can make a difference in someone's life.
That's beautiful, Janice. I think what I would like to do is kind of wrap up this session and ask my good friend Sherman if he has any other thoughts or to share with our listeners, and then I'll close it out for this beautiful podcast.
Janice, my last question was going to have to do with how do we heal communities, but I think you nailed it when you talked about the fact that when you serve together, you can't fight.
Yes.
And that's going to stick with me. I think that's the quote of the year as we go into 2021, and Kevin and I try to crack the code on how you get these communities that are almost hopelessly divided. How do you get them back together? Well, you put them in a situation where they have an opportunity to see each other as humans. So I'm not going to ask a question. I'm going to just let you know that I appreciated that wisdom, those pearls of wisdom. And when I see white now in those, in the way you dress, I'm going to think of a pearl every time I see it. So I just want to leave it at that, Kevin, because I am fulfilled by this, by what we were able to talk about here today with Janice.
Oh, boy, thank you so much. I just thank you so much. And as they said, the white you just said, because people always say, why do you wear white? Why do you wear white? And, we wear white because it's a strong statement of how the founders and mothers want to be perceived as we participate in the organization's business. Yes, we mourn the loss of our children, but white makes a symbolic statement that transcends mourning. It's a statement of peace, sacrifice, innocence, and goodness. These were the values our children held dear and for which they died. Wearing white celebrates our children's contributions, while the gold star acknowledges their sacrifice. So yes, white. So I'm thinking about every time we wear white, we're sacrificing. We're just celebrating. I'm celebrating. And I tell people sometimes, I say, you know what? When I get to heaven, I'm going to be wearing white. So I'm practicing as well. I said, I'm practicing. I'm wearing my white.
I love it.
Yeah, so I'm practicing. So it's wonderful. So yeah, a community that works together stays together.
I absolutely agree, and I think that's a great way to wrap it up. I want to share with our listeners that when we publish this podcast, we're going to share more information about Maryland Gold Star Mothers and American Gold Star Mothers, so people can understand how to get involved to serve our Gold Star moms and make a difference in their lives too. I know that over the course of the many days, weeks, months, years ahead, Janice, that your service will continue. Jesse's legacy of service will continue. And Sherman and I and Paul and Rich Headley and Monica Shea and our entire team and our volunteers, not just in Maryland, but other parts of the country, will get to serve alongside you and realize the same spirit and light that we've all realized in serving alongside you. And I know in my heart that we are going to change the world together, and we're going to make a difference together by serving.
Amen. Thank you, my brother. You guys, we're moms on a mission. They say we definitely are, and you guys have provided that opportunity for us to serve, and for which I am so very grateful.
Thank you. Well, and with that, thank you to our listeners for joining this podcast of Solidarity of Service, and for listening in today to Janice Chance, Gold Star mom, to Jesse Melton, United States Marine Corps captain. Thank you so much. Have a great day, everyone.
Semper Fi.
Semper Fi.